There are moments in life when trust feels like a sacred bond, an unspoken promise between friends. But what happens when that trust is broken, not by a stranger, but by someone you once called a brother? This is the story of Mike and Andrew, a story of loyalty, betrayal, and the quiet justice that life sometimes delivers without us lifting a finger. Years ago, Mike and Andrew were inseparable. They weren't just friends, they were colleagues, working side by side at a local car dealership. Both were talented IT technicians, handling the systems that kept the dealership running smoothly. The days were long, the work demanding, but they shared jokes, lunches, and dreams of building better futures. But as time passed, Andrew began to clash with their boss. His temper flared, and soon it was clear his position at the dealership was hanging by a thread. Mike, meanwhile, was thriving steady, reliable, respected. Then came the call that would change everything. A friend of Mike's, working at a much larger and more prestigious dealership, reached out. They were looking for a skilled tech support specialist, and Mike was at the top of their list. Mike could have taken the opportunity himself, but when he looked at Andrew, stressed and uncertain about his future, he made a selfless choice. He recommended Andrew for the job instead, trusting his skills and wanting to help his friend during a difficult time. Andrew aced the interview and got the position. He was ecstatic and deeply grateful. He thanked Mike over and over, promising, "One day, if there's ever an opening at this company, I'll bring you on board too." For a while, everything seemed perfect. Andrew thrived in his new role, while Mike remained content at the original dealership. Months later, rumors spread through the grapevine. A new position had opened up at Andrew's company, the very opportunity Mike had been promised. Excited, Mike waited for Andrew's call, but it never came. One day, over lunch, Mike overheard some colleagues talking. They mentioned that Liam, the younger brother of Andrew's girlfriend, was leaving their dealership for a job at Andrew's new company. In that moment, Mike's stomach dropped. He realized Andrew had filled the open position, but with someone else. Mike's hands shook as he dialed Andrew's number. When Andrew answered, Mike didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Andrew, why didn't you call me about the position?" "You promised, Andrew, you promised." "Mike, I can explain. It happened fast. Liam needed the job and..." "Andrew, don't. You wouldn't even be there without me. When you were about to lose everything, I stuck my neck out for you. And when it was my turn, you turned your back on me," Andrew stammered, fumbling for excuses that rang hollow. The conversation ended cold, leaving Mike hurt, betrayed, and deeply disappointed. Mike buried himself in his work. Over time, he rose through the ranks, eventually becoming a respected manager at his dealership. It wasn't a large company, but the position was prestigious, and it gave Mike a sense of accomplishment that no betrayal could erase. Years passed. The wound faded, but it never fully healed. One afternoon, Mike received a call. It was from Andrew's company, the very place he had once longed to work. They had a high-level management opening and wanted Mike to interview. This time, Mike didn't hesitate. He impressed the hiring team with his expertise and a workflow optimization system he had personally developed. They hired him on the spot. And so, fate played its hand. Mike now outranked both Andrew and Liam. In the very company Andrew had once kept him out of. When Andrew heard the news, he panicked. He avoided Mike in the hallways, ducking into rooms to escape awkward encounters. Mike noticed but said nothing. Deep down, the old anger stirred. Mike now had the power to fire Andrew with a single signature, but he also had a choice to act on vengeance or rise above it. During a management meeting, Mike presented his workflow optimization software. He entered the company's data, revealing inefficiencies across all departments. As the numbers unfolded on screen, everyone watched in stunned silence. Two departments stood out as glaringly inefficient and costly. One of them was the tech support team, Andrew and Liam's team. Without Mike uttering a single word against them, the evidence spoke for itself. Repeated failed projects, wasted budgets, and chaotic implementation of solutions that never worked. The company launched a formal investigation. Within weeks, Andrew and Liam were let go, not by Mike's hand, but by the very system they had abused. As Mike sat in his new office, he reflected on the journey. Years ago, he had burned with anger, craving confrontation and revenge. But now he understood. Andrew's betrayal wasn't about Mike at all. It was about Andrew, his lack of integrity, his lack of skill, his desire to cut corners and climb on others' backs. Some people, Mike realized, destroy themselves. You don't need to fight them or seek justice. You just need to keep growing, keep building, and life will filter them out. And so Mike never confronted Andrew again. There was no need. The silence between them was answer enough.